Hello all from Plant Reviews. Today 27th of February and it is a beautiful sunny day, and I'll talk now about Ypsilandra thibetica. This is a flowering plant in the family Meliantaceae. That is a family. I have another plant that is completely different, the giant honey bush, the Melianthus major, that really could not be probably any more different from this plant. I will put the link at the end of the video and in the comments down below. However, it seems that they belong to the same family, and I am quite impressed that so different plants do actually belong to the same family, but really it's not that rare, especially among plants that plants really different actually belong to the same group. So let's talk about this gorgeous plant. Ypsilandra is a small genus of herbaceous plants that are native to Asia, in particular in China, Himalayas. There is root in China, Himalayas, Myanmar and Thailand. Ypsilandra species are perennial plants and they grow from quite thick rhizomes, and they are usually associated with slopy and forested habitats. They are not very common in cultivation, and probably of all the Ypsilandra species, Ypsilandra thibetica, still not that common, is actually the most common of the entire genus. I purchased this plant from a nursery in Kent called Madrona Nursery that has a lot of unusual species of plants. I will put the link down in the comments as well, so you can find the address if you are interested. It's a very nice nursery and they have really unusual plants, so I really recommend you, if you are in Kent, to have a look at this nursery, or if you are around in Kent, to visit the nursery. It's a very nice nursery, plant nursery. The plants are pretty small. The Ypsilandra plants usually they have leaves that are between 15 and 30 centimeters, green. In particular, this one, the Ypsilandra thibetica, has quite I would say lime green leaves, very ornamental, and at least my individual, and they grow from a rosette at the base of the plant. They produce flowers on scapes. The flower scapes can actually be more or less tall, so can be taller or smaller, probably depending by the species as well as by the individuals. Sometimes they actually tower the foliage, but in my case, my Ypsilandra thibetica doesn't have really long flower scapes, and actually the flowers are almost hidden. You can see at the same level, if not below the level of the leaves. Still, what the flowers don't go absolutely unnoticed. The pure white color contrasts very well against the green leaves. The flowers of Ypsilandra is an inflorescence, as you can see, and it consists of a multitude of flowers that have 6 tepals each, and very long anthers that go beyond the tepals. The stamens, the anthers protrude beyond the tepals, as well obviously as the anthers that are in my case they are whitish bluish, so it is they're not very common plants that have anthers that are of these colors. Usually pollen is yellow. However, some flowers have different colors, and Ypsilandra thibetica is an exception, like a few others. Ypsilandra thibetica, as the other Ypsilandra species, come from Asia, and in particular this one comes from China and Himalaya. This one is an evergreen plant, clump forming, So it is ideal if you look for evergreen plant, and the long narrow leaves make this plant a very good ground cover, especially in shady areas, because this plant really loves shade, thrives in shade. So it is one of the best ground covers you can get if your garden or some areas of your garden are in shade. It is a plant that love also moist soils, so I would say that gardeners in the UK and other temperate and cold climates will find this plant really interesting for the use in the garden. It is about 15 to 20 centimeters tall, and it is great for front borders in shady areas, as I said, and in winter, between midwinter and very early spring, it bears a multitude, as you can see, of small white flowers on flowerscapes. The flowers are already quite showy. You can see how the white really stands out against the green leaves, and also even more if you plant it in shady areas that are dark. Obviously this color really contrasts in the darkness. At the moment I have it in a pot. I never planted this plant. However, if you have it in a pot, you can actually easily smell it, because the smell is very pleasant. It smells in between cinnamon and vanilla, like a vanilla cinnamon preparation. I found that most gardeners find this fragrance very strong. In my opinion, it's not particularly strong. Definitely other plants have a much stronger fragrance. Winter flowers that have a very strong fragrance, for example, are Sarcococcus or Daphnes, that you can smell meters away from the plant. Also, due to the fact that this plant is so short, really doesn't help for the fragrance to waft in the garden, to getting diffused around the garden. However, the fragrance is very nice. If you want to bring the plants indoors in a pot, you can actually obviously smell the fragrance much easier. It is very pleasant, it is very sweet, and really, I love the flowers as well. They are really beautiful. They are small, but they are in this group, in this inflorescence, and I love the fact that the stamens protrude so much beyond the petals. They give to the plant a very exotic look. About this plant, another peculiarity of the flowers is that when they fade, the color changes. From white they become like rusty orange, and they are still pretty elegant to see in a plant. So even if the flowers have actually faded, the plant looks in bloom for several weeks. About the kind of soil, this plant prefers moist soil, ideally well drained, but can adapt also to clay soils. It is a pretty hardy plant, from USDA zones 7 to 9, possibly down to 6. Therefore, it is hardy throughout the UK. Another nice feature of this plant is that it is resistant to many pests, including slugs, deers, and rabbits. So it is definitely a plant I can recommend you if you have a shady garden. It is an unusual plant, very interesting. The flowers are very unique. So I am sure that many of you would love to have this plant in the garden. As usual, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like this video and other videos, it would be great if you can please subscribe. In this way you help me to support the channel to make and publish more videos, because yeah, one of the criteria of YouTube for reviewing the YouTubers is obviously the number of views and the number of subscribers. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.